Denny Hamlin addresses the J.J. Yeley incident, and NASCAR fans blame Ross Chastain for everything. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Real quick, Brennan Poole and I are dropping an all-new episode of Power Hour this Thursday, April 6th. We have a very special guest joining us. I'll let you in on that secret maybe tomorrow. As always, Power Hour will be available in video format right here on YouTube, but you can also listen to the audio version anywhere you get your podcasts. Before we get to the latest NASCAR news, social media has been quite the riot the past 24 hours. On Sunday, Christopher Bell got into William Byron on a restart, but when asked about it post-race, what happened, he immediately began talking about the wrecking ball, as he called him, Ross Chastain. Who, yeah, he's in the picture, but Ross Chastain did not cause that wreck. Now, later, Christopher Bell did go on Twitter and apologize after seeing the replay, but that hasn't stopped race fans on social media from having a little fun with the whole Ross Chastain is to blame for everything meme. I couldn't figure out who exactly the original creators were, but these were some of my favorite Photoshop jobs. Oh, of course, how could I forget? It was Chastain in 2015, not Kenseth. And there's a fight. Of course, Ross Chastain's in the middle of it. He caused that wreck. Don't you remember? Oh, don't you remember reading about this in your textbooks? It wasn't an asteroid that took out the dinosaurs. No, it was Ross Chastain who caused a mass extinction event. There have been some really edgy ones. I don't condone all of the Ross Chastain memes I've seen on social media, but some of them have been very clever. The Photoshop jobs on some of those, very impressive. Obviously, this is just a joke, but it was the subject of yesterday's video. We can't make a habit out of blaming Ross Chastain for every incident he's even near. I know he has a reputation. He's not going to get the benefit of the doubt, but we got to be objective when figuring out who's truly responsible for on-track incidents. That's all. Let's get serious now. At Richmond, early in the race, Denny Hamlin, back in traffic after a speeding penalty, got into the back of J.J. Yeley, spun him around. Fox caught the wreck live, POV, from Hamlin's perspective. J.J. Yeley wasn't too happy after the race. He said, quote, "I don't know if there could have been anything from a guy who's been preaching respect for the past couple of weeks. Seemed really silly on lap 32. J.J. Yeley not happy with Hamlin, nor should he be. Clint Boyer on the FS1 broadcast quickly asserted that Hamlin wrecking Yeley was likely on purpose. Denny Hamlin took to his podcast yesterday, however, and argued it was not on purpose. It was purely an accident."
It's very, very obvious, people, that I had no intention to wreck J.J. Yeley. Why would I wreck J.J. Yeley for 30th place?
Hamlin goes on to say that yes, he did get pinched, but he was just trying to go in there and kind of wedge Yeley up off the bottom. Hamlin says the data he looked at showed Yeley lifted a little earlier than usual. Hamlin took the blame though, said I messed up. And Hamlin also said he would reach out to J.J. Yeley and or Rick Ware Racing.
It's just one of those deals that I f***ed up, you know.
So my thoughts on this whole thing, we don't know if he wrecked J.J. Yeley on purpose. I think it's safe to say he intended to make a little bit of contact with the 15. Just a little bump to try and get him off the inside lane. I think it's safe to say Hamlin was a little miffed that he got pinched, got squeezed the straightaway before. But did Hamlin mean to wreck J.J. Yeley? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Denny Hamlin clearly learned his lesson. He got a points penalty and a fine for admitting to wrecking someone on purpose a couple weeks ago. This week, he is going as far the other direction as possible. Maybe Denny Hamlin's just playing it safe. Maybe it was on purpose, but Denny Hamlin's proven a point by saying, nope, it wasn't. It was an accident. It was an accident. It was an accident. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to try and read into the inflection behind Hamlin's voice. He could be lying. He could be telling the genuine truth, but what the audience all heard was Denny Hamlin apologizing for wrecking J.J. Yeley on accident. He did say he would reach out to the driver and the team and try to make things right. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he actually will follow through on that, but he did say that. So, I don't know. Take it all for what it's worth. The cynical part of me believes Hamlin's just learned his lesson from a couple weeks ago and is never going to admit to doing anything on purpose ever again. But maybe he's genuine. Maybe he genuinely feels bad. I don't know. What do you think? How are you reading Hamlin's comments? Let me know down in the comment section below. I don't talk about TV ratings very often, but since Richmond was the first race of the season on cable, on FS1, not Big Fox, I do want to look at these numbers partially to add some context, But I also want to add my opinion. Adam Stern tweeted, FS1 got a 1.3 rating and 2.3 million viewers for NASCAR at Richmond. Last year was on Fox, 2.3 rating, 3.9 million viewers. More households have access to Fox than FS1, so races on FS1 will almost always be less than races on Fox. So that definitely contributed to the significant drop off, 3.9 to 2.3 million viewers year over year. A lot of that is cable. But Stern also reports a drop of over 100,000 viewers for the IndyCar race at Texas on NBC. And he reports that even ESPN saw fewer viewers for F1 in Australia compared to last year. There are tons of factors in play here. I'm not going to try and address every single argument, every single theory. Instead, I want to focus on just one. NASCAR is struggling to reach the younger demographic. The number of young people watching traditional cable television or network television has got to be at an all-time low. The days of sitting on your couch on a Sunday afternoon and flipping through the channels, stopping on NASCAR and being like, oh look, there's Jeff Gordon, okay, I'll watch this for an hour. Those days are gone. Virtually unheard of, particularly if you're under the age of 50. I just want to throw this out there, and I am more than open to someone who works for the networks or works for NASCAR. I'm open to someone who's smarter than I am to tell me I'm wrong or to poke holes in this idea or this theory. But in my opinion, the next media rights deal that NASCAR signs that's going to go into effect in 2025 needs to include streaming, at least as an option, for every single race. It could be a paid streaming platform, an extra $20 a month to get commercial-free NASCAR broadcasts, something like that. It could be that. It doesn't have to be through Amazon or Apple TV, but every single race needs to at least have a streaming option, potentially even go streaming exclusive. I don't care if the 3 to 4 million viewers per race craters for some events because they're exclusively on streaming. Teams will hate it, they'll have a hard time selling sponsorship for those races, but perhaps the massive amounts of cash that one of those streaming platforms will feed the sport could make up some of those gaps. And I believe that's the only way NASCAR will get younger. I think if NASCAR signs another generic Fox, NBC, network TV deal and they're still on FS1 in 2033, the sport will be in a very bad place. That's my theory. Young people only watch TV when social media tells them to. Case in point, NASCAR went up head-to-head against the NCAA Women's College Basketball Final, and Caitlin Clark drew in nearly 10 million viewers, nearly double the next highest-rated women's college basketball game ever. Caitlin Clark has been all over my Twitter feed. She's been all over my TikTok feeds, my Instagram feeds. When social media tells young people to watch TV, sure, we'll flip on ESPN or NBC or CBS, whatever, if we can find access to it. But we're not going to flip through the channels on a Sunday afternoon, possibly land on NASCAR, and watch for an hour or two. That's never going to happen again. So if NASCAR wants to get younger, I think they need to embrace streaming right here, right now. Even if it's a loss in the short term. I think you have to take that gamble because in the long term, I think it's the best shot NASCAR has at reaching that highly valuable younger audience. Now, moving on, I want to touch on just one more story that stumbled across my Twitter feed from motorsport.com, Jim Utter. Legacy Motor Club has already lost a key executive just 2 months after he took the job. Bruce Mosley began with Legacy Motor Club on February 1st. He was the team's new president of business operations. And now, according to Jim Utter of motorsport.com, he has left the team, and the team has not offered any explanation as to why. This Bruce Mosley guy, from what I can tell, was seen as a pretty important player. His previous stops included Roush Fenway, ISC, Chip Ganassi, Kroger. He even worked with NASCAR, cultivating their relationships with Sunoco, Office Depot. Again, this is all according to motorsport.com. But he's gone after just 2 months with the team. I talked about this a little bit on Sunday night, but Legacy Motor Club has struggled out the gates this year. They have not taken a step forward. They've taken a huge step backwards. When GMS came in at the start of 2022, they took advantage of the new next-gen platform. And if we look at Eric Jones's stats, he went from having 6 top 10s, a 24th place points finish in 2021, to having 13 top 10s and an 18th place points finish in 2022. And he won a race. When GMS announced late last year that Jimmy Johnson was joining the team as a co-owner. They're rebranding to Legacy Motor Club. I think the hope was that they would at least take another small step forward. Yet if we look at Erik Jones's numbers, I know we're only, 6-7 races in. Last year, Jones had a 16.3 average finish, finished 18th in points. Right now, he has a 22.6 average finish and sits 25th. Don't even get me started on Noah Gragson. He's a rookie, so I'll cut him some slack, but he's 29th in points and is still looking for his first top 10. Things are not looking good at Legacy Motor Club right now, and perhaps the writing was on the wall. I mean, they lost Focus Factor during the offseason. I don't know how much money Focus Factor is paying the team, but they were on Erik Jones's car for 20, 25 races last year. They're gone. And if we look at these first 8 races, if you include the Clash, 6 of Erik Jones's races have been unsponsored. It's been Allegiant Airlines on the car, which is, associated with more than GMS. 6 of Jones's first 8 races appear to be unsponsored. That's not a winning recipe. That's probably why Bruce Mosley, the president of business operations, is out. Whether it was by his own choice, resigning, or whether it was the team saying, hey, I know you've only been here a couple months, but we're still unsponsored. Whatever the reason, things don't feel great at Legacy Motor Club right now. Between Richard Petty expressing a few months ago that he's struggling to get used to his new non-ownership role, the struggles on track, now the turnover behind the scenes, I don't like where Legacy Motor Club is at right now. I just want to put that on the record. It's early this season. It's still early in the Jimmy Johnson era of Legacy Motor Club, but I just don't like where things are at right now. I hope they can start to turn things around soon because I like everyone involved. I like Erik Jones a ton. Noah Gragson, he has all the makings of a future star if the on-track results begin to improve. And then Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. He's a legend of the sport. Richard Petty is still involved with her. Legends of the sport. Legacy Motor Club doing well is good for business. It's good for NASCAR. I'm rooting for them, but I don't like where things stand currently. Let me know down in the comments below how you feel about Legacy Motor Club, especially if you're a big Jimmy Jones or Noah Gragson fan. I'm sure these first few weeks have been tough to sit through, but let me know what you think down in the comment section below. That'll do it for this episode. I know we covered a lot of ground, lots of different topics. If you enjoyed, please leave this video a like, and if you're new to the channel and you love NASCAR, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you as always to my Patreon supporters as well for your very generous and continued support. Once again, new episode of Power Hour featuring a very special guest will drop on Thursday. Can't wait to share it with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again real soon.